Well, I'm joined now by Christopher Pissarides, a Greek Cypriot economist who won a Nobel Prize in 2010 and who has just been named as head of the Cypriot President's Economic Policy Council. Well, it's clear that the Germans are getting increasingly angry and frustrated with the Cyprus government. What are you advising the President to do?
Well, before I say that, I should also say that the Cypriots are getting increasingly angry with the Germans because what's happening here is unheard of. The problem is not that serious. It's been made more serious by the Eurogroup meeting and by the Troika. There are two banks in deep trouble. There's been a government in power for 3 weeks. Give them some chance to see what needs to be done, to see what solution we'll come up with. But in fact, there isn't much you can advise the president to do other than what's been dictated, because we've been given an ultimatum that unless we reach a solution, some kind of solution by Monday, there will be no more money given to the banks to carry on, and therefore the whole system, the whole banking system and with it the economy will collapse, and therefore a decision has to be reached tonight or tomorrow. And what my advice is the one that any reasonable person who doesn't want to see complete disaster will say, is that accept a haircut, accept the resolution of one of the two banks that is essentially bankrupt, and let's hope for the best once that's over and we get the loan.
But what do you mean by, wasn't that bad? I mean, why is it in Germany's interest to provoke a crisis that could lead to, the end of the Eurozone as an idea, really? I mean, you're suggesting they didn't need to do this.
No, I'm suggesting that because the cause of the problem, before I say that, the Cyprus economy is basically sound. The fiscal finances are sound. The economy was growing well. Two banks, the two biggest Cypriot banks, invested very heavily in Greek bonds, and when the Greek bond haircut came, they lost enormous money that they haven't been able to make up. They went to their government to get help. The government couldn't help them and went to the Troika. That's the background story. Now, one obvious solution is that since the problem was to a very large extent caused by the Greek haircut, and there is a European financial stability facility to help banks out of trouble, lend them for that, capitalize them from that, and then see what needs to be done after that.
Okay.
Not threaten with bankruptcy the entire economy. Yeah.
All right, well, I mean, you've been very clear that you think they should accept this raid on banking deposits. I mean, do you believe that the Parliament will agree to it? I mean, given the protests outside, the queues in the banks, will the people accept it?
Well, as Faisal said in his report, the first time they were confronted, they said, this is so unfair, we're not going to accept it. But since then, liquidity is running out. When they see the economy in this state, they have to think of the whole economy and then do it in a way that minimizes the pain on those directly affected, who are demonstrating behind me, as you can hear them. And it looks like they'll be able to reach a compromise tonight or at best tomorrow morning. But it's not going to be a good one, but it's one that has to be done.
I mean, isn't this ultimately Cyprus paying the price for letting itself become a playground for rich Russians? And some of it dodgy money.
I fear that the motives behind it might be more political than economic and caring about the future of the Eurozone. I cannot see the reputation of the Eurozone being positively enhanced, if you like, from this experience. I cannot see people looking outside and saying, yes, this is a partnership of equals who understand each other and trying to help each other's economy. It looks more like blackmail from the big and powerful against the weak, and the weak trying to do everything they can to keep going within the Eurozone. We need to think about this place in the way the visionaries set it up as the future of Europe, not as something where Europeans sit behind, fight it out.
Christopher Pissarides, thank you very much indeed for joining us, and I'm sorry about that little satellite break-up at the end. But Kathy.
Thanks, Chris.